Are you live on YouTube?
We are indeed, Deanna.
It's not showing that for me.
It may be on a half-second delay because
Okay,
YouTube, I
I'll
do find it's usually like
allow
a
it.
few seconds below.
Okay.
Have you got it now?
Wow, there's way too many of me.
How many of you are there, Deanna?
There's at least three, I guess. Four now. That's one.
30?
Three, four.
Do you want to have that to like 15 of you?
Ideally.
Yeah, we can knock it in half if you want to.
Somebody earlier
I
came
just thought more is more.
on the live and was like, there's some guy on there.
I explained to everybody that I was not who they were expecting to see, I'm sure. I know this must be shocking, but I promise we're gonna make it right.
Oh, okay, I
Yes.
can see
Had
on my page what it looks like.
you seen it?
I can see it, but I can't see the chat still. Oh, I might be able to see it on the YouTube one.
Let's test and see. Sorry, guys, as I'm sure you understand, getting our bearings here. But
Oh,
happy
yeah.
Tuesday evening. Thank you so much for coming around to the stream. My name is Dan. This right here is Deanna. And we're getting crowd across platform right now, are we not, Deanna?
We're
Did we
so
not hack the
excited.
mainframe?
We did. I feel. Are we in the Matrix?
We are indeed at all times, have been for years, Deanna.
Oh, I think it does show me that. Oh, why did the chat go away? Computer, show me chat.
Did you just get that one from BB109876? Who says hi?
Hi.
Isn't that all we can ask for?
That's
Deanna, I
more
think
than
we
I
may
asked
very
for.
well be rolling. Are you feeling good to go?
I am. I'm good to go. I can't see the
Fantastic.
chat though. Oh, there it is. Whatever you did, I can see it now.
Oh, yes, that moves over to that's the separate chat window.
All right, big dog.
But I'll be switching back and forth between those shots.
Hmm.
BB109876 is good to go, just so you know, Deanna.
Oh, yeah, I'm glad.
It's glad to know somebody is. How are you doing, Deanna?
I am excellent. I'm so glad
Me,
to be here with you tonight.
I couldn't agree more. I talked about you with my mom this week, Deanna.
What did you say?
Well, I just sort of gave her a bit of a recap of what we had done last week. And on Thursday, I told her that you had actually been going and live streaming for quite a bit and built up a little bit of an audience for yourself there on TikTok. And, we had had several like harried conversations about it and had basically decided to do it together. And I told her that we were riding quite high afterwards. I hope I wasn't telling tales out of school there.
Oh no, I had so much fun doing it. It was kind of like a fugue state a little bit, but thoroughly enjoyable. What did your mom think about it?
Oh, she was intrigued for sure.
She gonna tune in?
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't shared it with her yet. I think family is falling into a weird category with the Juggalo with the Juggalo documentary. I don't know how you feel about that personally. Have you shared it yet?
I thought about sharing it with my brother, but he is so dumb. Like, I don't know if I want to introduce that into my personal space. I had to block him on Facebook because he's just so obnoxious. But he does love the Juggalos. And I think he has gotten to a point where I'm like, I might be able to trust you. I don't know that I would give him a key to my house.
Does he just generally troll you? Like, what does he do that's so irksome?
He has like extreme anger issues and just like things will set him off to a degree that me, as how I operate in the world, I just don't understand that level of intensity. Like it's not a release for me to be like that angry. It like expends way more energy than it would ever make me feel better to be that angry about anything. Um, so I just don't know that he would be good vibes, but
Where do
he,
you think that anger comes from?
I really am not totally sure, but he had called me one time and was like, how, Deanna, like, I just went off on somebody. Like, I don't understand how, can you explain to me how to not threaten someone's life when I'm on a call, like a customer service call? And it's like, I truly do not know how to help you because that is not my immediate reaction to anything. Um, but I do suggest some therapy and I suggest like just taking a beat on things. Like nothing is, if it's some customer service person, just imagine yourself in their shoes. Like they are equally not happy to be doing whatever job they're doing. Like you're just operating at an unhappy level, and it seems like there's a lot more to unpack on a personal level.
I sometimes find that I am too given to that kind of anger. And it's
Really?
funny that he said, yeah, for sure, for sure. And it's funny that he says so like in a customer service end of things because like yeah, for my end, like yeah, if I'm on the phone with like a customer service agent or something, it is where like my true inner rage comes out. I don't know if it's just some combination of like the anonymity of it and then like a frustration of feeling as though like I'm not going to be able to solve my problem and we won't be able to get through it and fix it because I keep running into so many like expected turns that, and it just sounds like somebody is like reading from a script and sort of instead of trying to help you. And I always like find that frustrating. It's like the worst part of myself, honestly. I'm very unhappy with it every time that it
I think
happens.
everybody's worst self is their customer service self. I think I just go into like a shutdown mode of like entering. I imagine there's one character in a book that I read where she like can enter a dragon shell, and that is her safe space. And like, I'm gonna dragon shell right now, and it makes me feel a lot more calm. But I don't know. I feel like just anger really. It's like an inner like a fire that is being lit. If you were to imagine like you're filled with gas and somebody lit a match within your body and it's just on fire suddenly, like I that's how I feel anger. It's not like an outward explosion.
It just bubbles up and rages from within.
It's like inside of my body I'm like I want to be out of this moment.
But that has no expression for you. There's no release valve. There's no time at which that like fully comes out. Are you just bottling
Um,
it inside until
it's
you
not like
make good on all of these
bottle
threats of
it's not
assaulting people?
bottling it fully, just like fizzles within my own body. And then at a certain point, I go into dragon shell. I'm like, okay, this is upsetting in the moment. This too shall pass. The Paris coat of arms is fluctuat nec mergitur, which has always helped me as tossed by the waves, she shall not sink. And that has always like helped me in those moments is like, okay, this might be a momentary aggressive feeling that I want to like fight somebody, but um I don't, it's all very inward. Like I never feel the need to, it just doesn't seem like it would be helpful. You know what I mean?
It is not in most issues. In most instances, I don't find that it is helpful. Like, especially when you see it from an outside, that you, if you see someone else displaying behaviors that you know that you do, then it becomes like that much more cementing that, like, oh yeah, those are things that I should not be doing, because now I get a very solid idea of how that looks. But when I see somebody that has real anger issues and like gets set off by things that are otherwise, most people would be considered trivial, I understand the place that it comes from, which is it's just like anxiety and kind of like a pent up energy of just wanting things to be right. At least that's for me and like a couple of other people that I've noticed where I'm like, oh yeah, damn, I have that trait.
Yeah, I get the impetus to get to that level, but I wouldn't be able to give advice to another person who is feeling that, because that release to me personally would not feel good. Anytime I've gotten to that level, it's extremely draining, and I just feel like a little husk of a little, like, yeah, they, like, it's not a good feeling. Where I think other people, from at least my understanding of why you would want to unleash upon another person in that kind of way, um, it seems like it in some way is gratifying or helpful to them. And so I cannot give any advice because that just doesn't help me.
Fair enough. We have a very active chat right now, Deanna. I think we have BB109876, who's keenly interested in the documentary. Is your documentary about the Juggalos or about yourselves as them?
It is about the Juggalos. It's about our time going to the gathering um, for 2 years. The the lion's share of what the documentary is from 2003.
23. 23.
23, 2003. um, so I have gone for the past 2 years. Dan went for the past 3 years. The documentary has a lot of like B-roll and other footage from last year. It is also kind of about us being juggalos and getting into the fold and the mix, and like learning, because we both spoke about how we felt a little bit nervous going in. And then I think by the end of it, honestly, I think we would both describe ourselves as juggalos. What would you say, Dan?
I would most definitely say so, yes. I don't know that the documentary is necessarily about like our full journey through that experience, because there's so many things that happen there that are just like moments of sitting around the camp with people and, building true friendship where it's just not really the time or the place to whip out a camera. But yeah, I would say that it's most definitely, it shows our vision of what is beautiful about that place and what we love there. And I think that what is really captured there is the people. I think that's always my favorite thing that I go back to in this documentary is the talking head interviews and the little sound bites from folks that we chatted with. Some people we talked to for like 2 minutes, and other people we would chat with for maybe a half hour on camera. And just all of the individual voices of theirs that just sort of sing throughout the entire thing, and I think paint a really good portrait of the kind of person that is attracted to that world, and somehow also applies to us. Like, we are both like very much in the mode of the gathering. I think we both really find the same thing that we like there, which I think is a lot of the same is the reason why Deanna and I travel as well through the world, is because we like engaging with people and finding out new things and talking to people and being intrigued about them and their world and getting to see little crevices of places that you would normally never get to look at, and really having like a full experience there. I personally am of the thought that, like, life is very much like a video game or a choose your own adventure, in that the side mission is always a lot of fun. It's usually more fun than the main mission. Is like the side mission is the one that's really memorable. And to me, the Gathering of the Juggalos continues to be the best side mission that I keep going back to. It's just awesome there. It's always so much fun to go and walk around and just chat with people and have like really random little interactions. And just to see so much self-expression on display there as well, and people really living truly as themselves in the utmost sense.
What do you think was the moment where you felt comfortable?
Oh man.
I mean, that's quite a question. I'm sorry, but
It is quite a question because I do think that, hmm,
because you felt comfortable enough the first year that you wanted to go back and wanted to explore that so much more. So I'm sure I know that you had like a lot of fascination and comfort based on the first time you were there, but I do feel like after we had met our friends at camp by my, I don't know if we're allowed to say it, but
probably not.
um after we met our friends there, I feel like you really, at a certain point, you were like, I just feel really good. I feel very like welcomed.
I think that overall, the feeling that I've always gotten with juggalos that I've interacted with is that they're very open and friendly, and like I think they are very down with people that that interact and communicate with them in a real way, in a genuine sense. You know, that's not just coming to them looking to make fun of them or looking at them as oddities, but you know, really like engaging with them in a true way. And I mean, one of the things that I was really taken with at my first year at the gathering there is that I ended up having a lot of conversations with people about their moms. It was really interesting. Like it was like I like people's moms kept coming up about how I remember sitting on the big rock one night at Saturday night after the main stage was done and like everything was crazy. It's truly insane at the gathering of the Juggalos on Saturday night after the music has ended and the festival is ostensibly over and everybody is just hanging out there because that's usually when like there's a ton of fireworks that are happening and porta johns are getting tipped over and there's like it looks like mayhem, like more so than usual. And I remember sitting up on this rock with this kid that I cannot remember his name for the life of me, but he started talking about his mom and about how she made like the best spaghetti, like the most incredible spaghetti that you could possibly imagine. She just had it down tight. And the next day was Sunday, and I was like, "Oh, I realized that I need to call my mom now." And he was like, "Yeah, so do I." And I also learned
Oh,
that call your mom is actually like a refrain throughout the gathering, is that, you know, make sure that you remember to put a call into your mom. And I always really, there's something about that push that like you know, I call my mom on a weekly basis. I call her every Sunday evening to decompress and talk about the week. And so, yeah, I
I
understand
didn't know
that.
that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. We chat every week. It's one of my favorite
Phyllis.
things. It's
That's it.
yes, exactly. Chatting with Phyllis, gabbing with Phyllis. It's one of my highlights of my week every week is sitting down and talking with her for usually somewhere between like 15 minutes and an hour, depending on her mood largely. It's like how chatty and gabby she wants to get. But yeah, you know, just sort of sometimes it just sort of flows along the same rhythm that it usually does every week, and then other times it really opens up and you have like a really deep conversation with her about like, you know, her childhood and growing up and things about my childhood that I never saw and perspectives that I didn't have just because I was a kid at the time. And you know, I always am thankful for that kind of thing and getting that kind of opportunity and any chance to see, you know, our parents as like more well-rounded people and like see them as whole human beings.
All humans.
I'll always jump at that. Yeah, they're just humans at the end of the day. I don't even know how old I was when I realized that, but yeah. BB109876 says it sounds like a total absence of negativity there. Synonymous frequencies.
I would say it's an absence of negativity, but I think the ways in which we experience negativity on a day-to-day basis is just a different level where it's much more accepting and much more open, and people who Um, if you need water, you need food, you need anything, um, everybody there would have your back. Where I had only met the camp that we really got to be friends with that night, and I ended up getting separated from Dan. Apparently, he was very worried, and I think my phone died. Um,
I was quite
but
concerned. Yes, I was quite concerned about on night one how you had just vanished into the crowd and I could not reach out to you.
oh, bye. But I ended up meeting a bunch of people who were really sweet. I met another blue, and I met another friend who we just like went around and saw all the sideshows at the gathering together. And then at a certain point, I was like, oh, I need to find Dan. My phone is dead. How do I do that? And I ended up walking past the camp that I had met earlier. And they're like, are you okay? Like, you look like you're on a lot of a mission. And can you come here? And they like fed me Cheez Its. And they like, all right, let's get your phone charged. They went into full mother hen mode. And they were so sweet. And then I ended up getting back in touch with Dan and we linked up again. But that's just like absolutely random. We had not established the bond that we have currently at this stage together, where now we have shirts to commemorate our
Yeah, we had
bonding.
barely known them at that point. Like we'd only really talked to them on the interview and then had pretty much like scuttlebutted out of there in order to go
Mhm.
someplace else. So yeah. I mean, that was like it was a huge relief for me to come back to that camp because I think I also didn't know where to go at that point. Like I didn't really know anybody beyond the people that we had met that afternoon. And so I sort of like after enough time had gone where it was like, okay, I'm not going to be able to meet Deanna just randomly on my own. I need to go figure out some way to find her. I went back to the camp that we had filmed at, and lo and behold, there she was. And I was just like, okay, cool. And I think that night we sort of agreed, like, hey, if we get separated again, why don't we just consider this place our home base and like this is our rendezvous point again?
Yeah, they immediately made us feel extremely at home and comforted and just super kind angel baby people. I feel like we had to we had to put in our itinerary of footage stuff that would be accepted by TikTok. So we do have, I think, something to show that was uh, showing sweet giving moments at the gathering that touched us.
Oh,
I
indeed,
don't
we
know who
do.
included it either, but we kept telling everybody there that we were married so that I wouldn't have anybody being uh, creepy on there. But
Yeah, you
the
bet I
guys,
kept that. Absolutely. I love that ending part. It made me laugh so many times today.
okay,
Shall we review?
yeah,
Let's jump into it. So this was a character that we met. His name was Elkina, and we sort of were wandering around the grounds one afternoon, and we saw this sign that just said "free food" and a bunch of people that were lined up outside in order to get plates of hamburgers and hot dogs and scrambled eggs and things like that. So we pulled the head chef aside, and we were like, "Hey, would you mind interviewing us?" And we got this little bit here. Let's take a look.
Giving food free. We're from New York. We have money, so we figure why not give it to our brothers. We've been giving away eggs, hamburgers, hot dogs, at least 200. Yeah, at least. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate it. You guys are awesome.
Why is it important for something like this here?
Give free food.
Yeah.
Give it to our friends, you know. We're all brothers. We're all brothers, man. All sisters and brothers, you know. That's for sure.
Excellent mission. I really appreciate it.
You're gorgeous. Is that your sister?
My wife.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I love his reaction so much. It makes me laugh every single time.
Nice.
And his eyes lighting up and everything. And then last year in 2024, on Saturday night before the main ICP show, we were hanging out at camp and he walked by. I hadn't seen him at all that year. We hadn't seen him in a
Did
year
I
since we had filmed this piece. Yes, yes. So we're both standing there and he walks by and he's a little bit, he's kind of three sheets to the wind a little bit, and he's just walking by saying, "It's gonna pour later." And he's going up to every camp, it's just saying, "It's gonna pour later." And he's like letting everybody know as though they're hearing it for the first time, "It's gonna pour later." And so he's walking by, and I was like, "Elkina, I know you. We filmed with you last year. How are you, man?" And he turned around and he looked at Deanna and he was like, "You're so hot. It's gonna pour later." And then he turned around and just walked away.
What a world.
Yeah. But I mean, genuinely, like this guy was sitting there. He fed 200 people over the course of the weekend just because they had some extra money on hand. And I think there's no shortage of people that go to the gathering of the Juggalos that don't necessarily have a food plan and would definitely take like any kind of free offering that they could get there. And so, I mean, that was what I was angling at there. But Deanna always loves the fact that his reaction to my asking why it was important to feed people.
What was it?
No, you were just like, oh yeah, of course. Like, why is it important to feed people? It's because we love people. It's because these are the people that we love and need to take care of. And that was
Oh
kind of
yeah,
like a
and I was saying
constant.
like, what is wrong with you? Like, of
Yeah,
course,
exactly.
but
Exactly.
in his mind, it was so like, this is the dumbest question I've ever heard in the world.
And honestly, like that is like a fair amount of reaction to there of like, oh yeah, why would it be important to feed people, or why is it important to create a sense of community here? And I think the question of why really has not entered the mind of many people that are there. It's like,
No,
we
absolutely not.
no, there is no why there. And then the next year in 2024, we were standing out on Saturday night, and some guy came over a megaphone and was just like, "Yeah, I work at a sausage factory and I brought way too much food. Juggalos, get over here. We need to eat these hot dogs."
Do you have the footage from that?
Oh, no, I don't. Just the memories of that sweet, sweet kielbasa,
Oh.
unfortunately.
You ate like 3 of them.
Yes, yes, yes. I ended up I think I Venmoed them like $10 or something because I was like, look, I'm eating way more than my fair share, but also I am starving right now.
Pardon me, kielbasa pain.
I'm like, please. I was like, if you can give me like 3/4 of that kielbasa that's on the grill right now, and then the rest goes to the house, I'm gonna be fine. And I believe they'd also run out of buns and condiments, so it was just like sitting in the dark with you eating a sausage, like
Yeah,
a
the
very
first
long
one you
sausage.
had a bun, and then by the end of it, you were just like fisting a sausage.
I've been known to put down a hot dog in my day, Deanna, let me tell you. Oh, David Hawaii 1 says he got his Tic Tac back, guys. Hi.
Oh, hi. How was your surgery?
Ah,
How are you feeling?
what was going on?
He had to have like I believe a brain surgery
Whoa, really?
recently. Yeah. So he has been in the hospital.
Oh, I see that now. He's saying that he was in the hospital recently.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
But I'm glad you're back, and I'm glad you're feeling better.
You know what I think we need, Deanna?
What?
Like more than anything,
I'm scared.
we need a 1-800 number.
Did he figure out how to do that?
Get a 1-800 number?
Yeah.
No, not at all.
Oh, I thought you were about to unleash upon us
No, this is coming off the dome, Deanna. I think we need a 1-800 number. I think we need to. I want to turn over here and say, "Look, Deanna, the lines are red hot right now. Let's go to the
Oh
call."
my gosh. I actually bought a purse that is a landline,
Shut up.
so I could answer the phone from my purse.
Wait, how is it a landline? Does it, do
I
you
don't
like
even
plug it in?
understand. We'll figure it out.
I'm sure. I'm sure. I would love to have a little physical rotary phone over here to answer. Let's go to the phones. But I think we should
It
investigate
sounds
what it
secret.
would take actually to get a 1-800 number up. And then we could go to
It
voicemails.
can't be that hard.
I wouldn't imagine so too. Yeah, BB109876, I have the same question. It has a really long cord, question mark, for the purse landline
It does
phenomenons.
have a long. It
David
does have
Hawaii
a long.
wondering if it's actually a pager that you have.
No, I'm not going full beeper mode. It. I don't know. I know that I could answer the phone from the girls' restroom in a landline asset going like this. Hello. And that's all I wanted.
But what would it be? What
Nobody
line?
knows, Daniel.
What is this magic of like you're describing a wireless landline? Oh, by the
Somehow
way,
it works.
BB 109876 is actually, he goes by Brian.
Thank you, Brian.
Brian
And
with a
thank
Y
you.
in the center.
Thank you for preventing Dan from saying BB one.
No, I was really enjoying saying BB
I can
109876.
tell, and I want to destroy your joy.
It looks like we have like a little like a robot that's over,
That is cool.
like a droid. This video we had actually mentioned last week. We talked about this lady pretty extensively.
The hot grocery lady.
The hot grocery lady, indeed, Deanna. Yes, indeed. The hot grocery lady. I think one of the things going back this past year in 2024, that Deanna and I were both sort of thinking was we would love to get the perspective of somebody that was from the town in Ohio where the gathering takes place. It usually takes place in Thornville, Ohio, which is just outside of Columbus. And we were very interested in what is the local perspective of this here. And it's kind of hard to deny when you pull up into the town that something is most definitely going down. Like, even if you didn't know what juggalos were or were totally uninitiated in the culture, you would still, I think, be driving through and it would be hard to deny that there was some kind of a clown-based activity that was happening in town.
Something is afoot.
Something is most definitely afoot here in the Piggly Wiggly. So when we were on one of our Friday trips, which is one of my favorite traditions that we now do at the gathering every year, where we go out with some of our campmates in order to go into town and pick up some supplies in order to carry us through the weekend. And we were both walking through this local grocery store that's maybe 10 minutes away from the festival. And this lady came up to us and was sort of chatting with us for a bit. And she was very, very friendly. And we were talking with her for like maybe 2 minutes, and she was very inquisitive and everything. And Deanna had full face makeup on at this point too. So, and
Check
she
on
was
it,
seemed,
guys.
yes, Juggalo makeup, had on full clown makeup. And this lady was like completely unfazed by that as well. So the very first thing that we did was we turned to each other and we said, wow, wasn't that lady really attractive? Like, wasn't she very good looking? And we both agreed immediately, like, yes, indeed, that was a really, really hot lady in this grocery store in Ohio, in Hebron Town. But we sort of chased her down from there, and we got a little bit of an interview out of her. I had actually not reviewed this footage since we went to the festival, yes, last year until this week. And I really like this little interview that we got with her a lot. Let's check out the hot grocery store lady with the locals' perspective. You sort of ID'd us in the store. How did you recognize that we were at that festival? You sort of ID'd us in the store. How did you recognize that we were at that festival?
I kind of know what the look is.
Were there many people in the community that were like unhappy when the Juggalos started making that statement?
They didn't know enough, you know? The community, some people are like scared. And it's like, these are the most calm, easygoing people you're ever gonna know. Just here to listen to music and have a good time.
How you doing?
Good.
Whoop whoop.
And I think most everybody's gotten used to it now, you know. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Now, what I'm gonna do is go home and have a gummy and drink some.
Hell yeah. You sort of
I haven't watched that. I didn't know that it was me with the makeup on.
Yes, I snuck that little reverse shot of you.
Wow. I can see why she got scared when it came up.
I could as well, but she was also completely unfazed by it as well when it's like, hey, how did you know that we were with the festival? And it's just like, well, and
Your
general
face.
emotions in your direction. But I think does give a really nice local perspective there. And like on our end, I think that we have actually noticed that like the town of Thornville and the area around there has gotten a lot nicer in the last like couple of years of going back there again. It seems like there are more businesses that are open. It seems like there's been like more improvements to the roads. It seems like the festival ground itself is a little bit more set up for
The
things than it
Juggalos
was.
are improving the roads.
Exactly. Juggalos bringing infrastructure spending into your community. But I do love her so much. I mean, I just love the that bit at the very end about going home and eating an edible and having some wine.
She's so cute.
She's the best. And also just our uniform reaction of like, heck yeah, anytime that anybody is like I'm gonna go get wild. Brian, formerly BB109876, now known as Brian, wants to know: are you there as part of it for entertainment value? People watching, are you ICP fans? Deanna, what's your take on this?
No, Dan, you can take it away. I'm about to do it. I have a little pee break.
Oh, okay.
I have to take out my earpiece.
Yes, perfect. All right, excellent. I'll kill this on your end too.
But yes, everything is good.
Okay. To answer your question, I personally, for as long as I've been aware of pop culture and what pop culture is, I've been aware that there was a duo from Detroit who were called the Insane Clown Posse, and they used to put up makeup on their face and rap about murderous clowns and killing people. And their fans were known as Juggalos. Like, I can't even tell you the specific instance in time in which I started to like realize that that was the thing, but it was very, very early on with me understanding like what popular music was. And I was always fascinated by them, and I think that they were always really, there was always like a goofiness and a joviality to everything that they did, even though it was still pretty dark in its humor. Every time that I saw them somewhere, I was like, man, these guys are super funny and they make me laugh. And whether or not that was like seeing them on MTV or watching them being interviewed on Howard Stern, it didn't seem to matter. Like, they always came through. And then, of course, you know, the legend of the Gathering of the Juggalos is that it is where you go in order to see absolutely insane stuff happens. And wouldn't you know it, I happen to love seeing insane stuff and watching zany out there things. And so I was always really attracted to the idea of going, and pretty much just went on a lark. One year I sort of decided, hey, now is the time, if ever there was one, in order to go to the Gathering of the Juggalos. I showed up there alone. I didn't know anybody. And I was just almost immediately taken with the place. I was really I was very surprised by the Juggalos and how welcome and warm they were and how conversational they were. I loved the zany and crazy conversations that you would have with people just randomly there. Like, any person that you talk to on the street was just like, it would just be like, wow, that was definitely not a conversation that I would be having anywhere else but here. And really, like, you know, I think as far as ICP's music goes, like, I think most of my exposure to it happens while we are at the gathering, although there are some songs that continue to stay in my AirPods all day, all year long. Like I love My Axe and Chicken Huntin' and Hey Vato are all great tracks. But of course, that lore is so unbelievably deep and their fans are really, really into it. And I'm afraid that my understanding of the lore is not deep enough. But I will say that my favorite Joker card is the Riddle Box. Old heads know for sure. Um, but I will also say that like the ICP show, like, I'm a big fan of concerts. I have been to I don't even think that I'm exaggerating when I say that I've been to like hundreds of live shows before and have seen so many musical live performances. And I really do think that the Insane Clown Posse on the main stage at the Gathering of the Juggalos in 2022, when I went that first year, does rank up as in the top 3 or top 5 concerts that I have ever been to before. First of all, the music is so unbelievably loud. There are so many theatrics going on. Every 15 minutes they have a full cadre of backup dancers that are coming out with the express intent of shooting Fago all over the crowd. Fago being a soda that's extremely popular in the Midwest, and the ICP has sort of adopted as their drink of choice. So a curiosity that led to an awakening of sorts. You know what, Brian, formerly BB109876, I do think that you may have hit the nail on the head there. Yes, it was indeed a curiosity. And then I would say that it transferred over into a bit of an awakening. And what I like to think of with the gathering and with Juggalos in general is that every time that I have gone back there, it has pushed myself forward in a little bit more of a way that I was never really expecting it to. Like the first year I went, I really thought that I was just going to be there for like a couple of hours to see what was going down, and then I would leave. And it turns out that I was there until about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and I could not stop filming with my camera because everywhere that you turn, something crazy was happening. There was a firework going off, or there was a wrestling match that was happening, or somebody was shoving a rubber chicken up into their own body. It was just absolutely wild. And so like I was just filming nonstop throughout the first festival that I went there, and ended up on my drive back when I was sitting in like a budget motel outside of Knoxville, Tennessee, like ended up editing the entire thing on my phone and releasing like about a 30-minute to 45-minute long documentary, a version of the documentary then. And to me, that was like a huge step forward for me. I interviewed somebody on camera for a project that was my own and something that I felt passionately about, which was something that I tried to do for a really long time. I felt as though I had somehow like edited this 45-minute piece to where it was quite cohesive and I was really happy with it. And I said, wow, I'm super proud of this. And I really like watching it again. And so to me, the gathering of the Juggalos is where that is what that place provides. Is it allows you to take a creative leap forward and allows you to be experimental and adventurous and to try something new, and knowing that you will find an enthusiastic audience there no matter what you do. Like as long as you're there and you're not actively making fun of them and you are somewhat into the vibe of the place, which Deanna and I most definitely are as we wander around the grounds. Like we're instantly attracting people to us and chatting with people nonstop and getting very, very conversational and fun and wacky. And yeah, it has always just been a very, very friendly place for all of that to go down. Even like, we had an idea that we were going to do trivia questions in order to set up some of the expositional things in the documentary. And like even that, like I was very nervous about like getting up on a rock and yelling out over a megaphone, like, hey, like, and asking trivia questions to a crowd of people. I don't know whether or not they're going to pelt me with garbage or shoot bottle rockets at me or what, like it's typically when you get on stage there and things don't go well, it can go very, very wrong, as Trailer Park pointed out in the stream last week. So I was definitely nervous, and then ultimately found that I'm like, wow, not only are people really enthusiastic about ICP trivia, but also I don't know a darn thing about Juggalo trivia compared to these folks that are just wandering by on the concourse here. My gosh, they are super duper knowledgeable. All of them had read Violent J's book Behind the Paint. All of them were very familiar and willing to argue their point that they were correct about trivia points, which I always thought was a lot of fun. Sorry, I'm distracted by this chat. Let's get into this chat. So a curiosity that led to an awakening of sorts. Yes, Brian, the interesting view, it influences your perspective on everyday life, acceptance, less anger. Yes. Yes, indeed.
I mean, I think we met a lot of people who it helped them. The music. In the chat is me just yelling at you, Dan. A lot of the people who would go to the festival, they had a release through the music.
Oh, very much so. Very much so. I think the music definitely speaks to like a huge part of their, I mean, that is why their fan base is there. Um, Unfortunately, in order to play those clips regarding the music, I think we would have to get off of the TikTok. Are you ready to let go yet, Deanna?
I guess so, because we have to be a little bit naughty.
I know that's the problem. And the thing is I'm got all ICP music. Yeah, I am really enjoying the TikTok end of things here, of course.
I know. I mean, we can stay as long as we want, but I just know that to be able to play some of the clips from the documentary, we're going to have to jump streams. Otherwise, we'll get in trouble.
Yeah, most definitely. It sounds as though TikTok is not very Juggalo friendly. Is that what you've been finding, Deanna?
Yeah.
Like, weren't you saying that you've been trying to post things from the festival for like a year now and it keeps getting taken
Yeah.
down?
As soon as a juggalo is seen, they get mad at me, and I get into TikTok has something that's like, if you're a good TikTok citizen, so anytime I am posting about the juggalos, I am not being a good TikTok citizen.
Clearly. What is their major beef? And do they
I
alert you?
don't
Do they
know.
send you like a notice that like, hey, you used a Hatchet Man logo and so that's not allowed? Or what did they
They
tell you
don't
why it's kicked off?
they don't tell you specifically like why that one piece, why they have beef with it, but they will say it's for certain key terms. But I'll watch the video back, and none of those key terms were like, could have been flagged. So I don't know what the issue is, other than somebody had um juggalo makeup on.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
do think we need to get to the bottom of this, though. And also, I would think I read something the other day, and granted, this is meme news. I don't know that this is necessarily true, but they said that the Juggalo face paint actually renders your face unreadable by AI scanning. Yeah, like it's that specific like pattern and the black and white contrast and like like a random but
It's like a
mirrored pattern on your
Rorschach
face.
of.
Yes, yes, and it renders you completely anonymous to AI surveillance tools. Like they can't make heads or tails of your
I'm
face.
going full juggalo from now on.
Is that it? Is that the thing that we need to wander through society now in full
Yeah.
Juggalo makeup? This is how they get us, Sienna.
This is really great or good. All right, Stinker, are we going on to just YouTube
I think we may need to if we're going to play some more clips.
so I can use some curse words?
Well, let me ask you this first.
Okay,
In the vein of the 1-800 number, because I do think that eventually we should start incorporating some more people onto this chat. Wouldn't you agree?
I agree.
Who would it be that you would want to hear from? Like, who would you love to talk to?
Hmm. Phyllis.
My mom? I can see if she'd do it. I think she would if I asked her to. We should definitely do that.
Yeah, it would be an interesting outsider perspective.
You know what? When we debut the video of me acting inappropriately with that face,
Oh gosh.
which
No.
unfortunately I can't say fully what it is that I did to the face. You're going to have to come on over to to the YouTube stream in order to hear that because apparently they're okay with it. Which, by the way, our documentary is called Juggalo Family Values. It can be found in short spurts and eventually in its entirety on YouTube. And the channel name is Juggalo Family Values. If you'd like to reach out to us, our email address is juggalofamilyvalues@gmail.com.
What a segue.
But I think I would. Yeah, exactly. We got to give them the promise. I just got to tickle your butt with a feather, Deanna. I got to give them a little teaser to
I
let them
don't
know
do
what's up.
anything to any faces ever.
No. Deanna was very I wouldn't call it chaste, but you were definitely behaving yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You were strictly a professional. You know what? I got dared to do something, and unfortunately I fall victim to that kind of nonsense and buffoonery, and am a small enough person that I need to answer those things, and therefore I ended
You
up
did a
doing
great job.
something. What's
I
up?
cheered you on throughout.
Oh, you were actively encouraging me. Yeah, most
Yeah.
definitely. And filming. Let me tell you something. Deanna truly proved herself to be an excellent camera person that day, because the coverage of the scene is outstanding.
It's
And the angles,
obvious.
the angles looked very well educated for those kind of angles, Deanna.
I'm a professional.
But that day, I think maybe the day that we premiere that piece, yes, then I will bring Phyllis on the chat. We can watch it with her.
Why that day? That's so specific and unnecessary.
That sounds like it would be funny.
Okay.
I've been making her watch me do things like that for my entire life. You understand? I'm already
Oh,
She's already insanely
gosh.
disappointed. Insanely disappointed. Oh, but let me see. Let me take one last look through here and see if there's anything friendly we can share to this old TikTok audience.
Okay.
Let's see. That's
I
got the
can't see
F
who's
word.
on here right now, so if you're a sweetie petite, then thank you.
Do you wanna
Are
Oh,
there
I see
any
you're in.
non-sweetie petites? Do I need to fight anybody?
Mm. I do like getting to read these out loud, sure. Here we go. Let's go through the greatest hits. That picture is not good. Was the first one. I don't know. Do you care to answer to that?
Okay.
Brian, of course, BB109876, as we discussed, very friendly. Larry shared the live. David in Hawaii, who we chatted with back in the hospital, but it seems like he's doing okay. He was the one that had recommended you were actually looking at a pager instead of a purse in your phone. Let's see. Got all ICP music from Three Feathers. They are very unfriendly for most juggy. I guess that counts as juggalos. Would that be in reference to the people in Ohio? Would be my question.
I don't know.
I'm not sure either. Someone said they're going to give you a call on your purse phone later. Rakuda gave us one of those very cute faces with all the smiles and the hearts on it, sort of like
I love those.
a bit like that, with the hearts, with the
I
hearts.
love all the little hearts coming off.
And that was it. I don't know that there's need to fight people.
Okay.
Do you care? Do you pay attention to that?
If people are mean, sometimes it like fuels me.
Oh, why? Like, do you listen to it? Do you get upset by it?
I don't get upset by it, but it does. It does make me like, I'm gonna prove you wrong. It is like one of the fires under my belly is to like not please don't be mean just to do that. Like I do not need any more of that. But I feel like there are certain things that I'm like, you know what? It's the obstinate nature in me.
I see. I always feel like, to me, I'm like I don't care. Like, say whatever the hell you want to over there. It doesn't matter. I'll go back to it if I need to. But it would seem to me that like the only comments that you get are negative ones. You know what I mean? And then it's like, because that's the loudest part of whoever your audience is, the one that's telling you you suck. And
I mean,
then
that's
that,
the
but that's like,
psychological effect.
yeah, exactly. Because we listen to it that we're mostly attuned to it. But
You could
like,
have like
obviously,
100 positive
yeah.
comments, and the one positive comment is what you can, or negative comment is what you could latch onto. But I don't necessarily will latch onto it. It's just like if it is absolutely incorrect. I was telling you before we went on live, like the thing that like bothers me is when people are like, "You're not actually painting." I'm like, actually, the facts here, like I'm about to go into like tiger mode, like things that are not the facts of the case. I would be such a bad lawyer because I would be like, "Excuse me, what?"
So you're looking to bring the facts to the argument.
Yeah, like I'm legitimately painting. If you don't like my painting, that's fine. Like you can not like my painting all day. You could not like the subject matter or the way that I'm doing it or the colors or any matter of things. Totally fine. Like not everything is for everyone. But if you're going to say that I'm not doing something that I'm doing, then that will agitate me because you're a liar. And I don't like that's different than just not liking something. Like you it's a different type of criticism.
Brian says your tiger mode seems so sweet, though. Trust me, Brian. You don't want to get on the other side of that.
Oh my gosh, Dan.
Hey,
I
I'm not saying a
swear.
thing. I'm not saying a thing. I'm not doing it. I've said all. I am not saying a thing. It's fine. You have in the past been like you sent me a video earlier this week in which we were talking to Chance and to Boogie on our way back from the grocery store about how you had hit multiple people with frying pans.
I have.
And
Out
you've
of
weighed out whether or not to
self-defense.
use a knife on somebody before.
Mhm.
Deanna has rage.
Not, oh my gosh, Dan. Those weren't rage moments. They were like self-defense out of people attacking me.
Okay, fair. But
I do not just like rage anybody.
fair, I misspoke.
Yes, you did.
But but the what I'm saying is she's not afraid to use implements at her disposal
As necessary.
and will drop you.
As necessary.
Will drop you. Can you walk us through what you're painting there in the background, Deanna, just so we can give it an idea for this audience, and then we're going to go over to YouTube so we can review some of these clips. We've got some absolutely fire clips that are lined up. Some of our favorites from the documentary, honestly.
I'm really excited.
I am too.
Well,
Come on over to Juggalo Family Values
as
on
long as
YouTube.
Dan doesn't pee me O anymore.
Oh God, why I had to break that down. Did that PUO?
You know it pissed me off because if I that you know what you did. Daniel.
I did no such thing and I deny these allegations.
Okay.
I swear
Well,
I'm being on my best behavior with this. You know I could get much worse.
you
I'm
could be
not going
so
to.
bad.
I'm not I'm being good.
You are. You're doing great.
I'm
You're
being
doing
good. I give these things as a cautionary tale because Brian, I think that many people fall in the same boat that you are. It's like, oh yeah, she looks so sweet. It would be fine. Trust me when I tell you, Brian, at another date, I'll spill the beans. I'll let you know.
I only fight when I'm provoked.
Whoa. Easy. It's like you're coming right at me. Yeah, tiger mode alert. Exactly, BB
Watch
109876.
out.
Exactly, exactly. There she goes.
All right, so here we have the beginning stages of an oil painting. We're gonna do some fishnetting here, some tata level here. This is all gonna be kind of one color until not as wet, and probably throughout here I'm going to be doing the darker tones. Then we're going to be glazing. It'll be really fun. We can do this together.
Oh, yeah. Earlier
Mhm.
you said that this was like the infuriating part of this process, and this is where like
Yeah,
people get really angry with you if
get
you're
real
ever.
mad.
Can you like, can you explain
Big
why
mad.
people are why are people getting big mad with you over this? Like, when you're at this space, like, what is it that you're doing right
Well,
now
this is
that
why I usually don't do an oil painting on here because a lot of this stage is it's like this. Which, yeah, you're not gonna have a lot of, not a lot. Is gonna happen from like little baby light strokes. But people want more change than that. So
Hmm.
that's why I was like, I don't think we need multiple cams for this. It's only going to make people mad.
It's literally watching paint dry. This is where they start accusing you of faking your painting.
Yeah, basically,
And they
basically.
start calling you a liar and a no good thief.
I'm a liar and a cheat. Oh, that was a little too.
Sorry. Paul to the now. See, now I understand why you get up in this chat. Paul to the music says 25 years of combat veteran plus, and now I'm scared of this woman.
Me?
Yeah, I believe so. I think we spread your legend effectively here, Deanna.
Good. I've been working with a bow and with butterfly knives and throwing knives. This is all probably going to like word base get me yelled at, but that's fine.
Just call it a ballet song. You've been doing weapons training.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, Brian's gonna go, which means that we got to get out of here too. Without Brian, we just don't. He's our rock. He's our anchor.
I'm gonna miss you, Brian.
Me too. Me too. It's been everything having you here, Brian. Thank you so much. For anybody that's watching us over on TikTok, thank you so much for joining in. We're definitely going to be looking to do this again in the future. And then, of course, Deanna can always be found at this at. And if you're interested in following us, we will be over on YouTube Live, where we have a little bit more flexibility as far as what it is that we can show on the stream. And we're going to get into some clips here right quick. Eh, Deanna?
Yeah, let's do this.
Heck yeah. Well, let's say goodbye to this crew, Deanna, and then we're going to hop on over into our
Bye.
devoted stream. Bye, guys. It was really a lot of fun chatting with you all. Thank you
Wait,
so
tell them where
much.
to find us if you want to join us.
Yes, at Juggalo Family Values on YouTube. That is the name of the channel. It is Juggalo Family Values. Eventually, we're going to have some fancy boy words on screen here that sort of explain this kind of thing, like what our email address is and generally what it is that we're doing. But hey,
We're gonna have an
we're
email.
we have an email now, Deanna. It's
What? Really?
juggalofamilyvalues@gmail.com. Juggalofamilyvalues@gmail.com. We have an
That's
email.
exciting.
I emailed it. I emailed you from it the other day.
Oh, wait,
Cindy
okay,
at
cool.
Cindy, you want to come join us over on YouTube? The spelling is Cindy, Juggalo is how you spell Juggalo, and then it is Family Values. Go check it out. It's got this red and black logo in the background there. Awesome, Cindy. Thank you so much. Can't wait to see you over on the
Oh,
stream.
that's so nice. Yay.
Yes, indeed. We've got somebody coming over. Bye, Cindy. We'll see you in a second. Everybody else, do come
That'd be
join us.
real evil.
We are.
No, we're gonna like talking about hanging out with our friends.
Exactly. We could just curse over there. Apparently, you can't do so
No,
here.
I know, I know. It's hard.
Mm. Oh well. It must
Oh,
stink, right? Because you curse. You're actually not that much of a
you
cursor.
I'm not a sailor.
You don't have a potty mouth.
Mm-mm.
Did I slip up at all here? I think we did okay.
I think we did good. I really am not like a potty mouth at all. Okay,
Well,
bye.
let's end the TikTok stream on that note. Bye, TikTok. We'll see you next time.
Bye, I love you.
And let me make sure that we are actually still over here. Oh, we are indeed. What's up, gang? Good to have you here. Sorry about that. We were double dipping a little bit, just trying to figure out what is going on with Deanna's TikTok channel. As we explained last week, she does have a bit of a following. She's a bit of a big deal.
I am not.
Aren't you?
I'm really not.
You are to me, Deanna. That's what I was getting at when
Oh,
I was
or
talking about my
else.
damn with my next. Is that the answer? No, Deanna. Yeah, you are a big deal. You are a big deal, unquestionably. Let's take it over though, because that other one was taking up a lot of my attention span. I just don't know that I'm like built for this. You need to you need to post an announcement once Phyllis is scheduled. That comes from my childhood friend Ben, who is on the chat. Shout out to Ben. He was here the entire time last time, and it looks like he's still hanging
Heck
around
yeah,
now.
Ben. Apparently, you were the one who was very inquisitive about my urine
Yes, indeed, had all
situation.
sorts of key questions. In fact, said in this chat, not enough urine talk on this stream this time around. Unfortunately, really deficient in any kind of urine chat. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
It
Dan, are
didn't
you
get
familiar with the
better.
Bristol stool chart?
What is that? The P?
No, it's for poop. And it's like a ranking of like your different
Oh,
poops.
yes, I'm very aware.
Oh, let me show you my tattoo. It's the whole six spectrum. No, we were reviewing it at like a party the other night, and everybody got really into it. It was my first time ever hearing out of it. It's on a scale of 1 to 6, six
Your
being like,
first
I think
time?
6 is like if it's like, like an absolute liquid horrible situation. And the 1 is if you're like rabbit pellets or something like that doesn't like it looks animalistic. It looks like a deer or something.
Dan, this is not the first time you've described rabbit pellets to me.
Never in my problem. Never mind my problem, I assure you. Oh, snap! Big news from the chat, Deanna. We've got some absolute all-stars here. Let's take a look at who
Hello,
we've got. We've
players.
got the rival. Everybody knows the
What?
rival. Yes, indeed. That
Oh
would be
my
Chris
goodness.
out of Massachusetts. The rival. We reviewed one of his clips last week. We met him in the parking lot. It was on Wednesday of 2024. And he was freestyling for us and giving us all sorts of love. Great guy. We've also got Cindy here from the TikTok chat. Let's give a big up to
Oh
Cindy.
my
Cindy, thank you
God.
so much for transferring over with us. Much appreciated. And Deanna, are you ready for this news?
What news?
It's
No.
news of all freaking news, Deanna.
What?
Mystic is here.
What?
Yes,
Mystic?
not even
Really?
joking. He left us a
Mystic
big purple
Taylor?
hi. What's up, Mystic? Whoop whoop.
Mystic. Oh my gosh, can we pull up Mystic footage?
Oh, absolutely. I was going to pull this one up today. This is one of the reasons why we had to jump over here. But this is
Mystic.
one of my absolute favorite things that we got at the gathering. I love it so much, this piece. I think in talking to a lot of people at the gathering, there's a lot. We sort of chatted about it last week about its place for women. And Deanna talked at length about her sort of comfort level being there as a woman and enjoying the experience of going through it with the woman. Am I mischaracterizing that, Deanna? Or
No, you're good. I'm
And
sorry, I'm just so excited.
I know,
to
me
hear
too.
you.
I'm bowled over. I'm bowled over. So let's get right to this clip of Mystic. Mystic speaks very, very eloquently and beautifully at that. This clip got posted late last week. Let's give it a look. Here's Mystic.
Just because we rap about that type of stuff, and there just because there's women out here that are like half naked or all the way naked doesn't mean that they want to do it with you. So yeah, juggalettes are not whores. Remember that. They're queens, just like the outside world women as well.
Hey, cool.
That's cool in the paint. I gave you paint. Yeah, you did give me paint.
So fuck you to whoever gonna say that juggalettes are whores. So yeah, just because.
Adore that clip. Adore that clip. I think the very first time that we heard that come through, the both of us were like, "Oh yeah, that is absolutely ending up in the final documentary." Um, I just love that so much. I'm a huge, huge fan. I love the finger
Did
points.
it come through for other people? Because oh, there it goes. I'm on a lag.
Yeah, you're on a lag with that one feed.
Okay. Oh, and he's holding conscience.
Yes, exactly. Mystic saying, "Whoop whoop." How y'all feeling today?
I'm
Better
feeling
now,
so
Mystic. I'll tell you
good.
that much. Better now.
How are you doing?
Mystic, I hope
You're,
you've been so well.
I know you're such a bright light always to run into throughout. And I hope you're going next year. I would love to see your sweet face.
Oh, based on what I've seen on the socials, it looks as though Mystic has been working on a number of new cosplays for the Gathering this year, if I'm not mistaken.
What ones?
It looks like he's continuing on with his I believe it's called Charm School Rejects or Juggalo Charm School. Is that correct, Mystic?
I love that.
From the chat, Ben B says, whenever Dan types Diana, which I don't know why everyone thinks that this is your name. Like it's become your name with everybody. Captain Kirk thinks that this is your name in Can't Buy My Weed. I'm pretty sure there are a fair amount of people at the Gathering that love you dearly and don't know what your proper name is. Deanna.
Scared.
Deanna. Whenever Dan types Deanna, it defaults to all caps. I can only assume you guys are constantly yelling at each other.
We always text each other our names in all
Completely
caps.
in
I
all
can't
caps. And at
remember.
this point, it's now to the like the autocorrect on my phone just immediately. As soon as it starts seeing Deanna, it just like boom, all caps in this big shouting voice, which is
I can't
appropriate.
remember how that happened. It was just like to be like, Dan.
It's always a good way to drive a point home. Like Deanna. Deanna. Oh man. Ooh, from the Rival. It's an honor to meet you guys. Thank you so much. From the Rival, Chris, who now I was chatting with your roommate, Erin, in comment section. She was also a big fan of the last live stream that we did. Yeah, I have to say, go check out the Rival wherever his music can be found. Chris, if you'd like to let us know where we can find your stuff in the chat, that would be great. Would love to push that along to anybody that's watching here. Huge fan of the work. And super duper nice guy, has been very amenable, was very excited about his participation in the stream. Let's pull up the Rivals clip, Deanna. Why not?
Yes, please.
Deanna, why the heck not?
Or else.
Exactly. There it goes. All right, let's take a look at this. We recorded this. I actually recorded this before Deanna showed up at the festival. This was, I think, the day before she got there. And I met the Rival in the parking lot. He was hanging out in a camp chair and was very chatty and wanted to talk with us for a bit, and or rather with me. And yeah, it was just had a really really nice time sitting there with him, chatted with him for about 5 minutes, and his voice is spread all throughout the documentary. I think that he speaks very well to a number of things about what the Juggalos feel and how it is that they go through and what they go through. And also this amazing clip, which to date has the most views of anything that we have put on this channel, is from Chris the Rival out of Massachusetts. Let's watch him now.
Rival. I'm killing them all, head to them all. Call me a kid, I still want to ball, don't want to fall, just want to make $1 million and spend it all. I'm sitting around and I'm going nuts. Gotta get out and start bonus sluts. Oh, yes. You have one more question, brother? Yeah. My name is...
I love that clip so much. The Rival. You can't put that out on TikTok. Let me tell you something, Deanna. It's
I
apparently
know.
just not allowed.
So it's hard to filter yourself as you're talking, and then I just go.
How do I communicate without obscenity?
Ah!
I don't know. It's like asking me not to breathe. But that is the Rival. Absolutely love him. Chris, so good to have you here in the chat. Do put in your socials for your music feed. Would love to hype that now if we can, for sure.
Chris, do you have from, I don't know if you've seen any of the clips, but I don't know if you want to add anything that you feel about them.
Oh, yes, let us know. And in answer to a previous question, Mystic says, I'm making new Letterman jackets for this year, and I'm definitely doing well. Plus 40 years of Purple Rain. Oh my gosh, I didn't even realize that. It's the 40th anniversary of Purple Rain.
I need to send you my pictures of me in full drag.
Are you talking to me?
No, missed it. Wait.
When were you in full drag?
For Prince.
Oh, yes, for the Prince cover band. Did you find it in purple?
Dan,
Did you tell someone to purify themselves in the waters of Lake Minnetonka?
I had a full mustache.
Mm. From Cindy, the creator, where is the event and what is it called? Cindy, this is from the Gathering of the Juggalos. It is a music festival that takes place right now in Ohio, just outside of Columbus, every summer. And it is a festival put on by the band The Insane Clown Posse, which is meant as a gathering and a celebration for their fans, which are known as Juggalos. So Deanna and myself have been going for this upcoming year will be our 3rd anniversary, Deanna. Did you realize that?
Of course. I got our
How
rings made.
you got our what?
Our rings made.
Ooh, I actually do have thoughts on the aesthetic for the camp this year, Deanna.
No, I have thoughts on like we need the quarterbacky, the sportsy guys. They have the little rings. What are they called?
Oh, like a Super Bowl ring?
Yeah, like those.
You want something like that?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll work on getting Super Bowl rings this year.
Okay.
I think that for this year, it is the 25th anniversary of the festival, which is the silver anniversary. And then it is our 3rd anniversary of going together, which is the leather anniversary.
We have leathery silver earrings.
Silver leather vibes
We
is
can
what
make
my
that
vote.
work.
I think so. I think we could absolutely crush that for the aesthetic. Oh damn! Cindy went to the Purple Rain concert many many years ago. The a fun fact that I'll drop on your butt right now, Deanna, is that the original track of Purple Rain is actually a live track that was recorded at Paisley Park in Minnesota. It is not a studio recording, but in fact is from a live concert of Princess, is the Purple Rain that you hear on the radio. I can see that you loved getting that bit of knowledge, Deanna. I can see that I just shattered your whole freaking world with that one. I think I blew your mind up with that one, didn't I? Didn't I?
It's so funny seeing my reaction later.
Go Blaze. Mystic says this year each character will have 4 to 6 parts and a new character that'll be connected to my Montana Black character. And I'm celebrating 10 years of cosplaying as well.
Yay! That's so fun.
Very nice. Congrats to Mystic. Oh
I
yes,
love
please
that,
do
Mystic.
send me the stories about each character soon. Yes, as soon as you have them. Let's see. Let's see. Dan really does give Fed vibes. Thank you. I agree. People clearly think so.
And I love this chat.
I really don't think that I play much for a cop personally.
Man, really?
I don't think I look like one. I just don't think that I have that thing. You think I do?
If I was casting, I'd be like, yeah.
Oh no, no way, no way. Maybe as an undercover cop, but I
Yeah.
just don't. I don't think so. What cops have you ever met that have this swagger, Deanna? Huh? That
You would
that
say
can
it
throw
like
out
that.
this kind of aura. Do you think that comes from the local PD? I
Yeah,
don't think so. I don't think so. Let's go to the phones. Just kidding, we don't have those. Let's go to another video clip. This is my personal favorite. I'm gonna play it again because it's pretty short. Yeah, one of my absolute favorite things that I recorded. I think I talked to this guy for a grand total of like maybe 15 seconds beyond what you're looking at on camera here. But this is Coda from Danbury, Connecticut.
I've literally never been this happy. Like my entire life, I've been sad, and I have such bad social anxiety, agoraphobia. But I come to the gathering, and literally I can talk to every single person I see because they're all fucking shiny just like me, and it's the most freshest shit. Like that void that's never be able to be filled with this community is the only thing that I actually felt true, genuine love. My parents never showed me that. This Juggalo community means more than anything for me. That's what this wicked shit's about. Juggalo for life. I've literally
Love that Coda. Love that Coda. Like the second that he did that with us on camera, I was like, man, that is just gonna live as like a pretty much unedited piece. I love him so much. I really think that he speaks from a place that a lot of people come from at the gathering, which is that you feel like an outsider in most of the world, and yet you go there and it finally feels as though you are home. And yeah, like I think that Coda just says that perfectly and beautifully. He has actually for a long time has been the final clip that plays at the end of chapter 1 of the documentary Juggalo Family Values, which we are chatting about here tonight, Deanna.
Oh yeah, we made a documentary.
We sure did. We sure did. And I had the harebrained scheme a couple of months ago where I was like, I'm going to feed this thing in a chat GPT and I'm going to have it tell me why it's better. And Deanna, up in arms is a strong way. Oh, it made her turn around in her seat. Deanna was quite peeved at the idea, I think, and the suggestion. And she looked over the notes and she said, "These are wrong. It shouldn't be like this. It's better our way." And she was making the case for humanity. And I was like, "Well, I'm going to continue
Which I
to."
so rarely do.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it really stopped me dead in my tracks. And basically, yeah, I went and I made some edits. And Deanna, you'll be happy to know I don't like them anymore. I keep going back to the old version that I sent you last summer, and I'm like, no, this is the proper one. AI be damned.
Yay, we win for once. But
Mystic also
Dakota,
suggesting that Cindy from the chat would be an excellent fit at the gathering of the Juggalos. Cindy, I will say that
Cindy, come on out.
you coming over to another platform in order to take another look at this world does bode pretty well for you being a
Yeah,
Juggalo, Cindy. I'm
we
not gonna
might be
lie.
besties.
Yeah, like honestly, I think that you might want to join us in Ohio. She said that was pretty convincing. That's loyalty.
Cindy,
And
we are
oh,
buddies.
Cindy, big fan of Mystic. Deanna, do you remember if we played the Fago Armageddon last week?
We played the trailer,
Okay, cool.
but we can always play it again because it's so cute.
Well, we've got this little clip right here that I posted earlier in the week. This is Kirk and Bubbles, which are two of our absolute top homies at Can't Buy My Weed. They are a married couple, and so they were going and having a bit of a walk around the festival grounds, and I followed along with them and just chatted with them for a bit, and we talked about Fago Armageddon, which is a tradition that happens at the Gathering of the Juggalos each year for the headlining set of Insane Clown Posse. They sort of relax the security a little bit at the end of the show. They let people absolutely bum rush the stage. There's bottles of Fago are flying everywhere. There are fireworks going off. It's a huge melee up on the stage. Deanna and I participated in this in 2023. We got up on the stage on Saturday night. And this is like one of the first things that I got introduced to when I came to the gathering was like, people were like, oh, you got to go upstairs you got to go up on stage for Fago Armageddon at the end of the set. Trust me, it's absolutely crazy. And the three things that they recommended to me were stay calm, stay hydrated, and be prepared to fight if you have to for Fago Armageddon.
What?
Yes, I swear to God, a guy named Thor in the crowd told me that. Yes, yeah, Thor told me. He's like, bro, you stay hydrated, you be prepared for a fight, and back away if it's too intense, and people will be safe. This actually included some footage of, I did not go up on stage, but I went underneath it in 2022 on my first year there. So let's take a look now. This clip with Kirk and Bubbles posted just this week.
I always go up on the stage for the Fago Armageddon.
Yeah, same. I did that last year too. I will see you up on that stage this year. I'm fucking getting on the stage.
Make sure you're there.
I will absolutely.
Oh gosh, love Kirk so much. Have to give another shout out to Captain Kirk. I mean, just truly an amazing little guide to our whole world there, and has really created such a home for Deanna and I every time that we go back. And was just chatting with him as of this weekend. He wrote a funny little post on our live from the last time that we did it, claiming that I had only drank a Kirkland brand seltzer water in honor of Captain Kirk.
Did he know it?
I mean, sure I did. Of course I did. You know I did, Deanna. You know I did. Cindy going wild in this chat. I'm super glad you came over here, Cindy.
Love you, Cindy.
Ooh, her other account is Abnormal Arts. Very cool. From Mystic, Fago Armageddon, and shout out to Can't Buy My Weed. Each and every single one of them are sweeties. Couldn't agree more. We always shout out Can't Buy Me My Weed and absolutely love them. If you're down at the gathering and you have need for cannabis, please go talk to the good people on Elm Street at Can't Buy My Weed. That would be Boogie. That would be Boogie. That would be Bloody. That would be Chance or Kirk or Rocky. Who else am I missing? Pepperoni Nips. Fresh Fish.
Fresh fish.
Fresh Fish. Have you talked to him recently?
Yeah.
Is he doing well?
Yeah, doing well.
Okay. Always loved that Fresh Fish. He was like one of my favorite people that we met there last year.
I would love to have Chance on here.
On a call?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Why don't we hook that up for next time?
Okay.
Let's see. Oh gosh, Deanna, what should we even look at now? Should we look at Big Silva?
Yeah, do you want to explain that first?
Oh my gosh, would I ever? So Big Silva is a duct tape ball that ICP has been building for the last 25 years. And the idea being, and this gentleman will give us a better idea of the mechanics of it, but they have been adding to this duct tape ball city by city on every tour and every show that they have ever done. Each city, they'll put a roll of tape and just add it and feed it to Big Silva. And at this point, this thing is absolutely massive. It's like just huge. So let's take a little look. We got a little intro. Again, have to give a shout out to Captain Kirk, who came up to me as I was just conversationally talking to this guy when we were on the street. And he says, "Hey, ask him about Big Silva." I had no idea what Kirk was talking about. I asked him, and lo and behold, we ended up with this video.
I'm very interested in the duct tape ball.
We're gonna try to get big as Big Silva over there. Big Silva is the duct tape ball ICP created. Like when they were on tour, they started with just one roll, and then they got big enough it broke through a window. Then they just continued it. Like every city they would grab like one roll and just feed them every time.
It's a 20-year ball of duct tape.
Yeah.
That's been built out over the tour for 20 years.
Yeah, all the tours and all their other shit. 1,100.
Oh.
It needs a forklift to get into their trailer.
I just love the goofiness of that so much, and the determination to keep carrying that thing around year after year after year on tour. It weighs 1,100 pounds. It's a half damn ton. It's the size of a truck. But
Sorry,
love that.
on a lag.
Oh, you're on that delay.
Yeah, that's so great.
No, yeah.
I
Also,
remember
just as
coming up on
what's
it,
that?
and who was it? Somebody who was involved in creating Big Silva, but I personally appreciated. Um, I wanted for that clip with the kid. I asked, can I take a video of you and your kid? And he was like, well, just ask her too. Make sure
Yeah, the only person that has ever like asked me to get their child's permission before filming them, which is pretty wild. Like, no, I've never had another parent be like, "Oh yeah, just make sure that it's okay with my kid first." Usually, the parent just says, "Yeah, sure, no problem, film."
No, that was really cool.
Yeah, it was very, very cool. Ended up seeing them a bunch around the festival. That dad and daughter team, they were super cute. Ended up being on stage for Fake Armageddon as well. I think toward like, if you can go in the VIP, you can enter in toward the back and miss all the melee. But yeah, really, really nice, that little clip of Big Silva, and big news from Mystic saying Big Silva might return this year. I wasn't even aware that there was an absence.
Yeah, where did it go?
Nobody told me. Nobody told me at all. Oh, Deanna, do you mind driving for a second so that I can now pee?
Okay, I'm gonna talk
No.
behind your back.
Well, then I'm gonna keep my headphones in, and that way I can hear you, and I'll
I
answer
want to
from
hear
the
you
from the
pee.
loo. Yeah, exactly. This is just, I can see what kind of sick perversion this channel is now into. This has just become a urine stream. My
Stream
God.
double entendre.
Oh yes, exactly. I hit him with that when you were in the bathroom last week, Deanna. I did a tight 5 on the stream. Yeah, please
No.
do take over. I'll be right back, and then we're
I
gonna
would
get to some
only
more
ever speak
clips.
kindly. I would only ever speak kindly about Dan. I
That's
can't.
not
I might fight him, but thank you for joining the Deanna stream. And we are hanging out with me. I'm glad you have joined. Dan, thankfully invited me into this world, and I am forever grateful. I remember when, Dan, I can hear you. Dan, take the thing out. Because I can hear you. Yeah, take your Lou thing out. Take it out. That was so fast. Oh. What? I only have so much breath. Dan, finish peeing. Finish peeing. Man. This is a PP ASMR. Oh. I don't know if that's what that was called. As he described to us too, knowing it on tape. Like we're not airing his business.
Oops. Thank you, Ben. My bad. Oh my gosh, I just went on that whole thing and it was a huge tear and now it's for naught. So sorry
Yeah.
about that, guys. Oh, because I was muted and yet everybody could hear me talking or
Oh, they
peeing.
couldn't hear you peeing, so I just made a
Maybe
lot of
you were the
noises
only
for
one
no
that could hear
reason.
me peeing. Chat, did anybody hear me peeing? Or was it just Deanna? Part of me hopes everybody. I'll tell you again, I'm so sorry about that, guys. We are still working out the technical end of
I'm
this
so
show.
sorry everybody didn't hear you peeing because I made so much effort.
We can make it happen. I believe that I'm audible now, it seems. I'm no longer
I can hear you.
yeah. I think you could hear me the whole time.
Yeah, I sure
Um
can.
there we go. Thank you, Cindy. She says that's better. Okay, Mystic did not hear me peeing. No, apparently it was only Deanna could hear me pee.
Oh my gosh.
What an appropriate punishment for her. Congratulations, Deanna. Welcome to the party. Cindy didn't hear a thing. And yet nobody seems that disappointed,
All right,
which
go
means
again.
I'm a
Go
little
again.
disappointed. I can't do that. I'm not that well hydrated. I don't like water.
You do.
Ben B said, no one heard you pee, but we got the play by play. Excellent. Well, back to the topic at hand. Juggalos for Jesus is run by Joe Hamlin, who is this man right here. He comes with his wife Carrie every year to the gathering of the Juggalos, and they set up their tent and their RV outside of the festival, and they provide water and T-shirts and food to anybody who wants them, and they are there to preach the good word to the Juggalos that will listen. And Joe himself, he describes himself as a former Juggalo. He was once very involved in the music and the world, gotten himself, I think he said he had the accomplishment of getting kicked out of an Insane Clown Posse show because he was too drunk,
Yes.
which he saw as a major accomplishment and spoke to his real level of partying at the time. He has since recovered and gotten clean. He kicked his drug and alcohol habit. And one day he received a message from God that he needed to go and proselytize to the Juggalos. And so that's what he does now every year. Thankfully, he and his wife both sat down with us and they provided excellent interviews with us. Really did a great job of kind of giving a bit of an outsider's perspective. I think especially Carrie, Joe's wife, was totally uninitiated with the world when she came in, and really does a lot to speak to it from a stranger's perspective. This one right here, this is Joe talking about the Insane Clown Posse's music and how it has a bit more of a theatrical bent to it. I think typically there is a lot of violent imagery in Insane Clown Posse songs, and so that can sometimes turn people off. But I think Joe puts this very well in this clip here. Let's listen now, Deanna.
I'm gonna pee while you do that, and I'm not gonna do it.
I'm turning off your mic. She's being a pro about it. But here comes Joe Hamlin at you, everybody.
Like, you listen to the music? No, I don't bump this music. They don't really mean. Like, you listen to the music? No, I don't bump this music. They don't really mean it. These guys are not running around committing murder. Like, it's a show. They're putting on a performance. But preferably, I don't prefer to put those kind of lyrics and those kind of things in my mind, because just like if you're trying to get off alcohol, you're not going to go hang around bars. Like, you listen to the music.
I agree, Mystic. These guys are awesome. I absolutely love Juggalos for Jesus. I'm a huge fan of the two of them, Carrie and Joe. Big shout out to Carrie and Joe. But I do think that Joe speaks very eloquently there to, I think, what a lot of other people say about the music as well, that there's a certain theatricality to it and over the topness that really helps people. And especially, I think, those people that are sometimes plagued and have those thoughts running through their mind anyway, that provides an outlet for them. Actually, Bloody, one of our favorite people at Can't Buy My Weed, actually put this very well. Let me pull up Bloody's clip real quick because I just adore Bloody. But I think that there is something to the theatricality of the music that just speaks to that audience and really helps people to get their feelings arranged. Goes back to what we were saying about healthy outlets for anger and rage in our previous bit of the chat. And we're just bringing this whole thing full circle. Ain't that fun? Let me find this here. Here we go. And again, thank you guys so much for your patience as we get any of these technical issues worked out. Here is Bloody the Clown, one of my absolute favorite people in the world. One of my favorite voices for sure in this documentary. I think that she does such a great job of putting words to feelings that I think so many people in this scene are feeling. So let's hear from her a little bit about what ICP's music means to her.
So ICP, they sing about like rage kind of things and feeling that, and the only way that they were explaining it was kind of like theatrical. So it was like something in my mind that I could visualize and see. So it was like feeling my rage in my mind through music without having to physically manifest that and hurt myself or others. And once I heard that, I was like, this is music for me. Because before that, it was always like music for normal people that it just didn't work for me. So ICP, they sing about like...
Oh, Bloody. Oh, how I love Bloody so much. You know, she was our very first full length interview. She was our first person that we chatted with for any extended amount of time and really went through a full barrage of questions. And I think we actually chatted with her like, Deanna, maybe like 15 or 20 minutes after you got to the festival. We were just talking to her. We'd been hearing about Camp Buy My Weed from Captain Kirk. I had met him the night previously, and so we went there, and we were like, "Is this Camp Buy My Weed?" And or no, I'm sorry. We went in, and I asked to the room. I was like, "Is this Captain Kirk's camp?" And Bloody was sitting there, and she said, "Well, I'm sure he would like to think so, but no, this is our camp. This is Camp Buy My Weed." And right immediately, I was like, "Okay, I fuck with you. You seem really awesome." And almost within like 5 minutes of talking to Bloody, I was just like, "Okay, you are the first person that we're going to talk to here." And I really think that she did an unbelievable job of talking about the perspective of somebody who had grown up in that world and who had been attracted to it from a very young age, and the kind of person that she was when she came to it, and also the person that she's grown into now and still holds on to that identity and still finds a lot of comfort in it. And she and her husband Boogie are longtime juggalos and are big fans and can speak really eloquently about their experiences with this scene and with this fan base. And just love them to death, both of them, Bloody and Boogie. Big whoop whoop to Bloody and Boogie both.
Yeah, I think what I remember a particular moment where she was talking about her life as maybe like a reservation
Yes. Yes.
situation with it, and we both looked at each other and we're like, oh, this person is extremely um knowledgeable, and she also is a mortician.
Yes. She was at one point. I believe now she mostly works with horses, but she had been a mortician when she was talking about her experience with that, and also her Native American background. And forgive me, I can't remember which tribe she belonged to, but she spoke very openly and proudly about that and about what her tribe name, and I believe it was a fox of some, or no, it was the wolf. It had a tie into the wolf and about like the domineering nature of the wolf. And I was like, oh man, I love you. We need to chat right
Yeah, we're
away.
like
So
a set of the cameras.
yeah, exactly. Like, and unfortunately, that means that like given that she was the very first one, it was the one where we knew the very least of what we were doing of any of the people that we interviewed. But I really think that her footage came out great, and she just speaks so eloquently to a number of really big emotional points that I think tie a lot of people together in this world.
Yeah, she did a great job of bringing you into that space that is her like home life without giving. I am all about not giving too much identifying information, but she immediately actually gave us where she was coming from as an individual. And um, I don't know, the entire time that we were doing this is like, I would be so scared to be any of these people who are just talking about their full lives and giving so much information all the time. And I was just so grateful that everybody was so open and giving in a very extremely raw and honest way. And putting myself in their shoes, it would be pretty scary.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think that if I approached me out of nowhere as a stranger, and I was like, hey, do you want to talk to me on camera for like 15, 20 minutes? I'm going to ask you some deep personal questions about your life. I think that I would feel the same as you, Deanna. I would have reservations about that. I'm not one to naturally open myself up in that way. But everyone there, especially from Camp Buy My Weed, I think they had an immediate amount of like trust with us, and they could see they were and are a very good read of character. They just have that skill in spades. And so I think they could tell right away what our intentions were and the kind of thing that it was that we were trying to make, and they could just see that it was okay to talk to us at the end of the day, and that we were there to make something that ultimately celebrated this that meant so much to them. And really just deeply grateful to them always for giving us this kind of material to look at and to work with and becoming our friends over the course of the last several years. People that are
Yeah, I'm really grateful for that friendship.
yeah, and I don't even think that I told you this. Because last year in 2024, I got there like a day or two before you, and I was there when they were first setting up the camp, and we had a big reunion, and it was all exciting, and we're getting big hugs and stuff. And at some point, it was I was like, "Oh yeah, like we're really excited to see you guys," and they're like, "Oh, we are so excited to see you," and they were like, "Camp Buy My Weed is a thing this year because of the two of you." They were like, "You are."
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like Letty was like, "You are the glue. You and Deanna are the glue that holds together Can't Buy My Weed."
It's so sweet.
Yeah, they are absolutely beautiful. Mystic agrees as well. Yeah, that whole camp is amazing. They're absolutely beautiful humans. I love Camp Buy My Weed. So do I. Again, super big ups to Camp Buy My Weed. In fact, let's go to another one of them now. Let's talk to Kirk and Bubbles. This is another clip from that same interview that I did
Oh,
with
I thought we were about to
the
call
road.
them.
Or were we about to call them?
I thought we were about to call them and got really excited.
Oh no, not this one, not this one. But should they be on the list? Who do we need to talk to
God,
next time, Deanna?
everybody.
I know, I know.
Okay.
I miss people. Let's talk to Chance. Let's see if we can get him on camera. I never can get enough of Chance.
I know.
Here are Kirk and Bubbles. So this was us. I saw them and I'm like, this is a married couple, and they seem to really love one another and love spending time with one another. And I want to get a little bit more background on who it is that they are and like what does their relationship look like. So just ask them a couple of questions about that. Here we go. Let's take a look now.
Bubbles, how long have the two of you been married?
We have been married, this will be 2 years.
Bubbles, how long have the two of you been married?
We have been married, this will be 2 years.
2 years.
2 years. We've been dating on and off for about 17 to 18
Hell
years.
yeah.
She was high school sweetheart.
Yeah, I went to a Backstreet Boys concert and he was best friends with my sister and met him. I had to wait for him to get his act together, but yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yep, I wasn't ready mentally. I wanted her, but mentally I wasn't ready. So
How did you know when you were ready?
When he got clean.
Bubbles, how long have the
Love that clip of Kirk and Bubbles. Oh, do just want to give a quick shout out before we continue on to Cindy, the creator in the chat. She does say that she has to go. Cindy, thank you so much for joining in. Genuinely, really appreciate you jumping over here from TikTok.
Sam, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much.
So
We're going
cool.
to try to do this twice a week. So if you enjoyed our little banter, come back around again. We'll be better about announcing when we're going to do it. But yeah, thank you so much for joining. Do
I
appreciate
really
it. So
appreciate
sorry
you
you have to
being here.
skedaddle.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
From Mystic, show me more Buy My Weed. These guys never fail to make me smile, and each time I'm there, it's like I'm a part of their camp. I'm one of them. Mystic,
You
wouldn't you know
are.
it? That is exactly how we felt as well. We were like immediately like, oh yeah, this is like
The
our
kindest group of
yeah, this
people.
is the nicest group of people that are just like willing to take us in and make this have this be our home here and really have become family over the last several years, honestly. What should we do, Deanna? We've been hard at this for 2 hours. Should we keep going? I still got a couple more clips.
I didn't realize it was a couple hours.
I know. I straight up when we get rolling, Deanna, when we get cooking, it's hard to stop us here. I'm gonna be
What
real
can I
with you. I
say?
think we might have some charisma. I think we might have something. Wouldn't you agree?
Of course.
Sorry, I get distracted by the chat. Cindy says she loves banter. Well, man, you're gonna get that. You're gonna get a
Thanks.
metric ton of it, Cindy. Let me tell you, that's all Deanna and I have is just banter. Let's play this one. You love this one, Deanna, and I
Yeah.
honestly, it makes me like the idea of it was making me physically ill. The barbed wire trampoline, like, was
Oh, I do love
absolutely.
this one.
I mean, you're the one that largely filmed this footage because I went and talked to them for like a couple of minutes and I couldn't even like
You walked away immediately.
I was so freaked out by the very idea of it. And I was like, no way can I go stand there and watch that show go down. But this is always also why we need to be there in the morning, Deanna. This is why we need to camp. It's because this kind of stuff happens before noon. But let's take a quick look. Oh my gosh. You said that this gentleman with the scars on his back, you talked to him for a while, right?
Yeah, he was so cool.
I mean, my
He
eye,
actually
like,
ended up in the hospital right after. Um, sorry, I'm on a lag. Yeah, he ended up in the hospital
from what?
because they strapped live explosives to his back
Oh.
and lit him on fire.
Ah,
Mhm.
why?
For the show. But there were some aspects that went wrong.
What goes right when you strap fireworks and explosives onto your body? What do you mean? Like, when do you walk away from that situation being like, yeah, everything was a-okay and peachy keen?
I don't know. I'm sure he would actually come on here. He's the nicest guy and was so open about talking about all aspects of, like, they go on tour as a group. I feel like I need to get a different chair because this one is a rocking chair and then I just look like
It does look like you're shifting in and out occasionally of it. It's like you're on a little
hello.
ship.
um, but I'm sure we could get a little call in with him. He was so nice.
I would love to chat with him on camera. I want to know what motivates them. Like, what is the like as Mystic said, I'm in his boat. This looks like it hurts so bad. No way I'm jumping on a barbed wire trampoline. Yeah, like couldn't agree more. Like, don't want nothing to do with that myself. But I want to know the kind of person who does. Didn't you say that one of them had had like their eye ripped out?
Yeah, there was an eye ripper outer. Um, they just went through like a whole litany of various ailments that they had all gone through. I think it's like love of the game and like the wanting to go through something physical in that kind of way, but I will get into contact with them and see if we can have a little chit chat.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see if we can get him on board for the next show. When are we doing this again, Deanna?
When?
As soon as possible.
Of course. Um, Thursday? Maybe
I can on
Thursday.
Thursday.
Why?
Tarny's got our last soccer game.
Aw.
It's the
We
last one
can
of the
drink the
season. I gotta
soccer
show
game.
up.
Okay. Well, then I probably won't be able to this week unless we do tomorrow.
Okay, let's discuss.
Okay.
We'll take this offline.
Yeah. We'll chit chat.
Which means, what should we do? Should we do one more clip? Should we just get the hell out of here, Deanna? What should we do?
One more clip.
One more clip. One more clip. One more clip. Should we do the animals? I feel like we should just. I feel like I should just tickle your ass with a feather. Our friend with all the animal facts.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead. This is absolutely one of our favorite things that we saw at the gathering. I mean, like, I can't describe enough. Like, when we went back to the hotel room after the festival was over, and we just spent like 2 hours just talking about everything incredible that had happened over the previous weekend of being there. This one was the one that we were just laughing so hard about because we loved it so much. And it's like we're jumping forward a little bit in the terms of the documentary, but we met this gentleman, and another guy entirely aside from this guy was playing a pocket trumpet along on the street, and this was his buddy, was this is the trumpet guy's buddy, and he absolutely did not want to get recorded. Like, he was not interested. He kept ducking away, backing away from the camera. But we were chatting with him and talking and getting really friendly, and then he basically divulged to us that he had like a very high end job involving animals. And we can't give away much more detail than that. As you can see, I blurred this man's face because after he told me, I was like, okay, I don't think that it should be known that you were here. However, when we heard about that, I was like, please let us film you. We'll just ask you animal questions. And immediately he was like, okay, cool, let's ride. So here we are, this guy giving us some straight animal facts at the gathering of the Juggalos. If I unmute it, Deanna.
We'll just fucking talk about a few things. Turtles that can fucking freeze. Cephalopods. We know that they actually had an opportunity to live in zero atmosphere. They might be alien fucking me. When you really think about fucking cephalopods on that level, it's pretty fucking cool. And the big one to think about is butterflies. And this is where we have some really cool fucking research. Because we've exposed fucking caterpillars to like noxious things that like, I don't fucking like that. In the process of a caterpillar becoming a butterfly, everything breaks down. It turns into jelly. Jelly! There's nothing fucking left. But when it all comes back together and it becomes a butterfly and you expose that butterfly to the same fucking noxious chemicals, they fucking remember how a butterfly fucking remembers how it was a caterpillar. That's fucking badass. And when they remember the chemicals that they were exposed to, I'm gonna leave it at that. Caterpillars and fucking butterflies, baby.
Fuck yeah.
We'll just fucking.
Just adore that one, Deanna. Just adore that one. And you know the best part of this that I didn't even realize until today, but Moose, our boy Moose, like walks along in the background right as that firework is going off.
Gosh.
Ryan E says, I would love to go to a gathering. Whoop whoop. Ryan couldn't recommend it enough. I'm telling you, if you find it at all intriguing, please do make your way to the gathering of the Juggalos this summer. It's the 25th anniversary, and they're bringing up some of the
And
best artists from
find
this.
us. I want to
Yes,
talk.
exactly. Come find us. We're camping there this year. Come look for us at the Silver and Leather tent.
Is what?
The Silver and Leather tent, Deanna. Doesn't that have a nice ring to it?
Is that what it's known as?
It will be, yeah, that's going to be our tent vibe. That was the aesthetic I was saying. It's
It's
silver and
very
leather.
dragony. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, most definitely. It'll be Valerian.
Nice.
Well, absolutely love the veterinarian there. So happy to have that clip out. Some of those that we posted that we reviewed today have not yet been posted and will be posted in the future. If y'all are interested, please do give us a subscribe on this channel. I'm trying to post a new clip
Or
from the
else.
documentary. Or else, as Deanna said, trying to post a new clip from the documentary every night at 7:12 p.m. Eastern. That's 7:12 p.m. Eastern. And Ryan E. in the chat agrees with me. Silver and leather does have a nice ring to it. Thank you, Ryan. I think it
You know,
sounds.
it had like a I didn't know that was an official thing. And
Yeah, I
now
think it
it's
should be,
official.
Deanna. Why don't we decide right now? That I like that pairing of the aesthetic. It works well
Okay.
thematically for us and the festival.
I'll allow it for now.
And that feels very wide open for us to do whatever we want to. And didn't you say you would like to curate a vibe this year?
Yes.
So let's go about curating that vibe.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Aw, Dan, I'm so happy.
Yeah, me too. Isn't this continue to be fun? Do you hate me yet?
Yeah. Never.
Give it time, Deanna. Give it time.
I've given it a lot of time. I've slept in the same room as you.
I've yelled at you before, which is very rare for me. Very, very rare but like I have yelled at you before and we patched that up and we worked it and it was better. I think.
You did. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And
How
I
do
think
you
that
yell at me ever?
easily, Deanna, you frustrate the hell out of me sometimes. You just send me right over the top occasionally, Deanna. I'm mostly holding back again, coming full back circle back to what we were discussing when we first got on this stream
Oh
two
my
hours ago.
goodness.
Swallowing a lot of rage.
I'm glad we've come to this moment together.
Me too. I'm very excited to be here, Deanna. Very excited indeed. Um. All right, Ryan
People
subbed for us.
subbing.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the sub, Ryan.
Yay. I mean, that's
Yeah.
so exciting.
Oh, I always love getting a good sub. You know what I'm actually going to have is a public sub.
A pub sub.
Different sub entirely, but yeah, I have a half a Boar's Head Italian in there. It's called,
Oh,
got
yeah.
my name on it. All right, Deanna, shall we go?
I miss you already.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if you were talking to me or that Dan Fangled chap. No, Deanna, I love you. That was what I was trying to get at on my call to my mom, and she was like, you and Deanna sure like making things and doing things together. And I was like, I guess I can't give too much information here on this stream, but I was like, Deanna, in several regards, is a very successful person and is a very impressive person and one that I personally really like going through the world with. And I think that we have a really good time and we get excited about the same things and are able to capture that excitement to get other people excited about it too. And
Oh, that's so cute.
yeah, I'm very thankful for you, Deanna. Always love you to death, Deanna.
I love you too, Dan. I'm so grateful for you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No.
All right, Deanna, I'll see you next time.
All right. Bye, sweet angel baby. Thank you for setting up this whole thing. I know that was a lot of like technologic.
Oh, this was so much easier than last week. My God, this was so much
Really?
easier. Yeah, for sure. Like I think it feels to me like we have a lot of stuff dialed in here.
Yeah, it feels good.
This show's feeling somewhat legit. Getting on legit, let's say. Like, getting on legit. All right, bye, Deanna. It was great seeing you. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much. Subscribe to the channel, and we will see you later. Or else. Later,
Can we end it
Gator.
threatening always?
Or else.